no difference. It won't make you God. It won't make you become God, or it won't make you be able to challenge God. It will make you to have the power of God. God is not like a man whereby the profession you have learned, if you try to teach somebody, that person will become like you. This is the different thing. I don't know what sort of God we are thinking of. But if we are thinking of the God that I'm thinking of, then I don't fear that in it there's something that's threatening him in any sense, that his creation, when he gives you all the information that you need to know to be self-sufficient and more embracive of him, he will fear that you will take over his place. What have you going? Having information does not give you power. You have the knowledge, but you haven't got power. There's two different things altogether. Maybe it will give you power, fine. But tell me, how on earth can the creature take over the place of the creator? It's never going to be done. Computers or whatever being made, taking over the period of what a man's, it's just, the abilities are not the same and can't be the same, cannot be matched up. He's a different sort of person, and we are all a different sort of people. He invented us in that sense. But at the end of the day, if we want to go out there and point finger to our real blood-related relative, or let's say our true sense of faith, or point to the true God, we need to know him first. And that is what we are talking about. None of all these people know their God. If all the gods has to present themselves today, the Muslims cannot point who Allah is. Unless maybe he declare himself. Even if he declare himself, what shows that it's him? The same thing with the Christian. They cannot point to Jehovah. Neither can they point to Jesus himself. Even Jesus, who came just 2,000 years ago. Buddha, they can't even point to Buddha. Are they going to point to something looking like the picture that the image that they look upon, like the carved image? No. And so you have to be able to know who your God is, know him or know her in all regards, so that if it comes to it, you are not deceived or deceptively being put into the dark state where others will take advantage of you, or somehow you'll be lost in your own sense and never be able to discover what really you're coming from. And that is what the state we are in. We haven't discovered it. We have not found that. We are all in a desolate state. We are in a state where we cannot confidently point to our God. We can't point to our true related bloodly Father. We are like orphans until he reveals himself and say that I am who I told you I am. I am this one. I am that, and prove to us that he is the one. And then we can constantly reveal him, or sort of proudly present him in so many sense. Without that, we'll always be in the dark world. We will be mistaken. We will be taken advantage of by those who are smartly seeing this situation that we are in as a means to sort of be greedy in our own shared resources that we all have. We all should have access to, and it's just a means of, a means to some sort of a happy ending for others, whilst others starve or struggle. And they use these means, and that's it. But even all these means, we ask ourselves, if we believe in a living God, why hasn't he come in? If it is wrong for those things to happen, why hasn't he come in? How far is he gone? Is he in Pluto that he doesn't even know what is going on? But we also believe that he knows everything. So then, if he knows everything, then we should think that he knows what is going on. And if he knows what is going on, he the one who knows. If we think it's wrong, and he thinks it's wrong, I'm sure he will do something. But if we think it's wrong, it does not mean that it is wrong. Now, does that mean that I'm saying that people should have the liberty to do what they want? Have your liberty and do what you want and see if things will be okay for you. Because I will not sit here whilst you have your liberty. That will inflict me or will bring some bad things on me. You understand? So no matter what liberty is, there's always limitation. So even in our own world, if there is no God, or God is not intervening, every individual will have the means of protecting himself, will have the means of living his life in such a way that he will not bother the other person. So it's common sense that we have to live with, or that we have that some of us, even majority of us, has lived with to survive to this moment. Common sense has taught us that Whatever you don't want to do others to do unto you, don't do it to others. For us to live happily, to share together. Even in these books that I'm so much revealing certain things to suggest that it's not from a divine God, you can see that sensible words have come out of individuals historically, and it has been, we found it, we read it, and we see that it is there. Jesus have made such a statement like that. Don't do unto others what you do not want others to do unto you. Common sense will tell you that the fact that you have liberty to do whatever means doesn't mean that you can go out there and take a knife and stab somebody, or you can go out there and just do whatever you so please and want and think that the other person will look at you. If you are not lucky, you probably meet somebody like a giant before, and if you don't, okay, you end up losing your life rather, or you end up being in a situation that you never wished you would have been in. The fact that you took the mantle to do the same thing to that person, it then, justify the fact your end up situation or whatever has happened to you. So what I'm saying may suggest the liberty, the freedom, but your common sense worker click should tell you that there is responsibility as to whatever liberty you get or you receive. There is that self-responsibility. There is that conscious, intentional, moral acceptance that you must always embrace, and something that should tell you that you have that right, and that right is something that belongs to just you, and that right is not similar or the same thing to that person. He may be in a different state. In the animal world, the same thing happens where the lion is his own he's categorized in his own way, the pig and all that. So are humans in all categories, how we all are. You cannot put yourself in a situation saying that because you love apple, that person also loves apple. No, you like apple, maybe he likes peach, or he likes pineapple. It is that even though we are all humans, we all have our wishes and our desires. Your desire may infringe on the rights of the other. So you have that freedom in that simple location of simple habitat you find yourself in, whether it's a room, whether it's a house, or that little kingdom of place that you are, and or whoever you share with, that if there is that understanding between you people, even two people meeting together, if there's no understanding, they split and everybody find their own way. So let us be very careful about choice of how to approach life. If we want a peaceful life, we can find it. We can find answers. We can divine resolve it our own way. We don't need any, to struggle through all that. It's just that being able to understand in the right way, being able to accept our true nature of who we really are and who we should be, is one core thing that is most important thing that will give us the state of the state of being in the most humane and understanding. We will be in a state of a conscious state which will let us willingly and embracively accept life. We will be in a state where our conscious level of things will be in advance, but we may see it as simple and basic, and normally the complicating things is what make us is respected by us mostly. That's what we do, and most of the time it is a state that we don't even understand very well, because the more you get yourself into that complications and all that, you find yourself delusional. You find yourself in a state where you're not confused, or let's say you're in a state where your mind is not certain because so many things are creeping in. But let us be very basic. Let us start from the roots, the normal roots approach. You realize that your understanding is more solid. It is more guaranteed. You are in a world or a state of realm where everything go at ease for you and everybody around you. So to achieve peace is all possible. To have a very peaceful life is possible. How are we willing to approach it? We have to then break loose ourselves from the irrelevant things and move on to something much more relevant.